Alrighty, we're back. Episode 3 of the Murray River Jump. It was only 5-6 days ago. I landed in the drink. Quick turnaround, we're back. I don't like to sit around and think about things. I'd rather just raw action and get it done. So wasn't going quick enough in the last one, pretty obvious. The main issue was a bit of a levee bank in the way, so we fixed that. And then, I've made a few mods to the bike. Not too much though, like it's for the most part it's the same. We've just tried to remove a little bit of flex out of it because that is the hardest thing, is trying to keep it in a straight line. The jump itself isn't that bad, it's just sort of getting to the jump. So we fixed all that, that's all good to go. And then upon some detailed analysis, some in-depth discussions, we figured out I didn't twist the right wrist enough. That's the only thing that went wrong in the last jump. So we brought in a key ingredient this time. Everyone keeps telling me this thing gives you wings. So I'm going to down one of these. Red Bull, if you're watching, I'll launch this thing off anything you point at. Just hit me up. And we're going to send it. So everyone keeps saying, why was I mad in that last video? I don't know why you wouldn't be mad. Everything was perfect. The wind wasn't there. The bike was perfect. Everyone had travelled out, like the jump, everything was spot on. The only thing I did wrong was I didn't twist the throttle enough. I didn't go quick enough. So it's 110% accountability on that one. I fucked up. I should have went quicker. I kind of knew coming in I probably wasn't going quick enough, but at some point you just got to say I'm doing this thing. So I did that. And yeah, that's why I was mad. So, you can't point the finger and blame others. It's, it's your fault. So whether you win or lose, you got to look in the mirror and figure out why it was and go again. So this is what we're going to do. And this should give me that extra bit of lift I need to get straight across. And I'm absolutely determined I am not landing in the water this time. I want to jump this thing so bad. It's all I've thought about for the past week. So whenever I hit a tree, head first in the sand, I don't really care. I just do not want to go in the water. Not because it's cold, just because that's another failure. But yeah, appreciate you all watching along, and hopefully we can launch it and be the first person to cross the Murray River on the old kite bike. So everything's good to go, and not much more to say. See you on the other side. Righto guys, could be any time from now. You'll get it, bud. I'll get you down. You'll get it. a couple of days after the last Murray River jump attempts. The Red Bull did not give me wings. Gave me a wing. I did get further on the first attempt. I was pretty happy with that. The second attempt though was less than ideal. Did not go to plan. So the first jump I got probably, must have been within like 6-7 meters of the bank. I probably could have stayed on the bike and rode it out. It wasn't very deep there. It was maybe like waist height. Still bailed off the back though anyway, and I was actually lucky before the exhaust even went under the water, I was able to hold the back of the bike up and push it up the bank within like probably 30 seconds of going in. So the bike didn't actually get too much water in it, which is cool because we're able to put it straight on the boat, get it back across the river, that's an experience in and of itself. I doubt you'll ever see photos like that again. Get it up the bank, and then there was a little bit of water in it, so we lifted it up with the excavator, emptied her out, took the spark plug out, drained the bowl and the carby, dry the air filter, and kicked her in the guts, and it went again. So within probably 10 minutes of doing the jump, we had the bike fired up. But I was pretty happy with that first attempt. It was my best one. I got pretty damn close, but call it stupidity, call it stubbornness, call it determination. I had to give it a go again. Wanted to do a second attempt. Everyone was there. It was all set up. The wind wasn't too bad. Conditions were, for the most part, good. And I was getting closer and closer. So I was just like, one more jump, we can do it. And probably in hindsight, shouldn't have done that. As you'll see in the clips on the run-up, after I'd committed with the throttle, somewhere there at some point I either got a gust of wind or maybe the kite was a bit bent from the first impact, or it just wasn't, maybe the sail being wet. I veered pretty heavily to the left, and at that point there's no backing out. You know, it would be worse to hit the brakes and nosedive off the cliff of the Murray than just try and launch and jump into the middle. So I veered left, couldn't really control it, wrapped on the throttle. I was heading for a stump, so I tried to get up and over that. And as I did that, I hit the stump, and it'll be hard to see it in the video, but I lost all my ground speed, basically, so my airspeed, and I was pitched upwards quite high. So this is like danger for stall, and that's where you'll pitch straight down into the water. So I bailed off pretty high up, and that sucked. So about 3 weeks ago, I had a bit of a rib injury, training for Hatter, whether it was a rib contusion or a fracture, I'm not too sure. Just know it hurts, I don't go to the hospital. And basically because I jumped off the bike so high up, I went head first in, bit of an angle, and smacked that side rib. So in a world of pain from that, and probably the worst part, the scariest part, was the water pushed the back of my helmet up and over my head, and it actually covered my face. So it was complete darkness from the moment I hit the water, and I didn't really know if I'd resurfaced or was still under the water. It was all happening so quick, and I just knew I couldn't see, and not cool. Not cool. But in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have jumped off so high up, because that led me to do that rotation backwards. But in my mind, all I could think was the only scenarios where it could go bad, hypothetically, is if I'm, attached to the bike. So the bike sinks and I'm with the bike. I've either gone forward on it and hit my head, or I've gotten my pants or my jersey hooked on a bar or on a foot peg or something like that, and I go down with the bike. That ain't cool. So to me, the safest option is just jump, and I guess that's what I had in my mind. And we're going to take a little bit of time here. I'm in a world of pain anyway. But to give you guys context, a bit of an idea, like everybody keeps saying more speed, like it's not that simple. So at some point, like around 45, 50 Ks, the thing will lift off no matter what. And you can't avoid that, because if you angle the sail at, say, -2 degrees or 3 degrees, when you do pitch it up to get height, it won't glide, it will pitch back down, the CG will be out. So it's a very fine line between being able to build speed and stay on the ground, and when you do get flight, having it maintain a good glide distance. And what's tricky about this at the river is that you only get one go. There is no warm-up, there is no testing, there is no trialing. Like in the paddock, it's 1 kilometre long, you can head directly in the wind, you can muck around with the sail, you can make sure it's all good, you can jump 10 metres, you can jump 20, you can jump 30, you can jump 40, and eventually you can get to that point where the video that's gone viral now, I can jump massive distances. And if I did that distance at the river, I'd clear it no dramas. The issue is, at the river, you've got to do your best jump the first time in the worst conditions. So there is no warm-up. You've got a narrow window off the bank. You've got an exact length of run up where you have to lift off at the right time, and it's really, really tricky. So like to give you an idea, if you lean 1 centimetre left on the bike, the kite might go 30 centimetres left, and so then you're drifting to the left for the next 10 metres, right? Just because it's so top heavy and it's not nimble and easy to move. It also has a lot of flex in it, which sort of dictates where you go. Now in the paddock this isn't an issue because I just keep going until it's level and stable and I decide when I take off. At the river there's a hard launch, so it's either throttle on or turn around and go back. And the first attempt I ever did, I wrapped the throttle on, say 10 metres from the bank. I committed, and from that point on there's no backing out, and that was all good. It got me to, you know, wherever it did, 10-15 metres back from the bank. The second attempt I did, I brought the throttle on maybe 20 metres back, right? So I'm committed from 20 metres from the bank. It's on. If anything goes wrong, too bad, stiff shit, you're sending this thing across. The third attempt, I brought that throttle on like probably 30, maybe even more, 35 metres back from the bank, and you just can't back out at that point. And within that distance, I either got a gust of wind, the sail was wet, or it had been bent. She veered left, I hit that stump, and off it went. And yeah, in hindsight, maybe should have spent a little bit more time, but yeah, I'm just determined to get across this damn thing. I hate coming up short, I hate failing, and I mentioned it in the first video there, but to me, if you're hard on yourself, you have an easy life. If you're easy on yourself, you have a hard life. It's just the way it goes. So I'd rather, you know, push myself to the limit so other things come a little bit easier. And to the people that say, why do you do this? What's the point? Blah, blah, blah. There's 3 questions no one has the answer to. 1, where do we come from? 2, why do we do what we do? And 3, where do we go when we die? I don't have the answers to those either. I don't know why I do what I do. It seems like a good idea to me. It seems like a ton of fun. And I'm going to keep doing it till I get across this damn thing. Consequences be damned. I've said it. I've thought about it. I've put this much effort into it. It has to be done now. So you'll either see me do it or you just probably won't see me anymore. So going to take a couple of weeks now. Back to the drawing board. I either need a different approach completely in regards to the bike, the sail, or I need to find a bigger bank. Now I do have a bigger bank in mind, but I need to test this thing off clips more, and ideally I need to be able to test it on the day before the run up, because when you're pulling it apart and setting it back up, you never quite know. And yeah, that's a challenge. So appreciate everyone watching along. It's been pretty wild to see all the sport. I didn't expect that video to go as crazy as what it did, and yeah, it's just got to be done now. So appreciate everyone's comments, everyone's messages. The next episode will probably be this refinement period where I'm going to go back and test a bit more and try and get the kite set up right, and just change a few things and a few mods. And then episode 5, hopefully I'm launching over that sucker and straight into that nice gold sand on the other side. But I'm all good. Bike's all good. I think the kite's all good. And we ain't giving up, that's for sure. So I'll keep you guys updated. Appreciate you watching along. And massive thank you to everyone that's been giving me a hand on this too. Jackson Webb, Drew Chislett, Judd Chislett, Anthony Hicks, Trey Hicks, Nate Hicks, Cooper Arthur, Rowan Holtcamp, Brendan Colville, just everyone that's had a part in it. Like it's not an easy thing to do. A lot of people are, I think, going to try and replicate it now, but I look forward to seeing the videos because it's certainly not as easy as it looks. I am a professional supercross racer and I am a pilot as well, so it's kind of like the mixture of the both. And then I've got the best people possible helping me with being able to get here. But you've probably seen Nitro Circus. I've tried it, weren't able to make it work. I think there was a couple of like hang glider designer brothers that had a crack at it too and couldn't make it work. And the only one that has really worked was Bob Carell or Bob Wheels back in the day, but that was more of a fixed wing triangle design where they jump the bike and just sort of float down. Like this is actually taking flight with a hang glider, so a little bit different in that regard, but it's a ton of fun. It's awesome. It's just I'm pushing it to the limit, and these are the things that happen. So thanks for watching along, and I'll see you on the next episode.